long as you follow those do's and don'ts, if we had to pull credit again 90 days, seriously, nothing should have changed. Literally nothing should have changed. If anything's going to change, I'm going to give you advice through the process to say, how can we get your credit score high?
Hey, Jeff, excellent presentation. I'm going to let you guys are the very important ones here.
That's okay.
Hey,
Thanks, Pete.
thanks, guys,
Take
for
it easy,
coming.
Pete.
I'll talk to you Monday, buddy. But it's critical because the score affects the rate, right? So if we're in the process and during the process I can get your score up, that's going to happen regardless because I'm going to do it for everybody I work with. I do it for everyone. I have a wonderful magic trick up my sleeve, which is I have a what-if scenario for credit reports. Okay, so I get your credit report. I can actually take that credit report over and do a little program that I have, and I say, if I do X, Y, and Z, what will my score be?
Pay off this loan.
On all three of your loans.
Wait 6 months.
Maybe pay this one down by $100, or if I pay that credit card off, or whatever it might be. And it'll predict literally 99% accurate what your score will be every time. It's huge. It's huge because it saves you money. The guy with 679, when I close him, he's going to be at about 700 by the time we get to the table. His interest rate's going to be about a quarter to 3/8 better because of that jump. 679, you get an average rate. 700, you get the best, right? So that's the key. That's what I do. I'm kind of like the orchestra leader. I'm sort of kind of like, hey, French horns go, bassoons go, drums hit it, go. So, the whole thing is having a team of people like Janet and I, and Pete and Walt, and when it flows, it works just magically.
Right.
And you
We
get
work
all the
closely
answers.
together and communicate and.
And you get all the answers that you want. You get availability. We talked about office locations. I am everywhere. I have an office in Cameron Park. I work out of the Placerville C21 office a few days a week. I'm sitting in Pollock Pines a few days a week. I'm sometimes here on weekends. I live in Camino. I'm up and down 50 like it's like my home
And this man has
street.
so much energy.
I drink a lot of coffee.
So much energy.
I don't know. About 7 o'clock, my energy goes right to the toilet. So.
He's always entertaining.
Do you guys have any questions about mortgages at all? I mean, programs, misconceptions?
I have some private ones.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Okay.
I know that Shai's already sat with you before. I was thinking maybe you and Michael could sit down and do a little private combo
Absolutely.
and work on maybe getting a pre-approval, and then Shai and I will chat.
Oh, this is, I don't know if you guys grabbed one of these, but this is something that your lender, whether it's me or not, they'll only give you this at the end when you're signing their loan papers, all right? So these are typically printed with the disclosures, like say we got a loan, you're in contract, let's disclose. This little thing comes spitting out at the end, and it's called the Home Loan Toolkit. And it's from our friends at the CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. That was created after the crash of '08 to monitor people like me to make sure we're not jerks. And if I am a jerk, there's a page on there where you can report me to the CFPB actually. So I'm happy to get this out to people. It's actually quite valuable. If you've gone through it or have looked at it, what mortgage is right for you? What can you afford? How can you do all these things? It's kind of interesting. I mean, I hated it when it first came out. I was like, they're telling people to shop for different lenders. And I encourage you to shop, but only let one lender pull your credit,
Right.
all right? If the lender's me and I pull your credit and you want to shop, I'm going to give you a copy of your credit report and totally hand it to another lender and say, what can you do for me, okay? I'm fine with that. Because I have great rates, great programs, and I'm me, so I'm probably not going to go anywhere.
Something important that a lot of people don't realize, once he has pulled your credit and approved you for a loan, don't go out there and buy a car on credit. Don't go out there.
That's in the 10 do's and don'ts.
Yeah, don't go out there changing your credit once you've been approved. Wait 30 days or 45 days until escrow closes, then you could go crazy.
Well, lenders will do what's called a, what do we call it? I don't remember. But we basically get to the closing table, they pull your credit again. right? They do a refresh, that's what it's called. It's called a credit refresh. So when our closing team gets your closing papers and everything else, and we think we're all done, right? And we've signed everything and we're there, and you're down there, and it's like, we're ready to fund this loan. They go, oh, credit refresh. Wait!
Right.
There's a brand new car loan on this person's credit report, Jeff. And I'm like, what? You know, and I freak out, and then it's like all of a sudden we got a whole new ball game because they got a $400 car payment all of a sudden that I didn't know about until the last second. And then somebody was like, well, we signed papers and then we knew we were going to close. We wanted a shiny new car in that garage. Oh, God damn it. Wait till you're done. You know, you can't do it until we're just done, until the recording and Janet has handed you the keys. Then go buy the car. I don't care.
Not until the happens.
Right. So that is critical, the 10 do's and don'ts in there. There's some stuff in there about credit scores. Again, like you can check your own credit, right? Like there's Credit Karma, you know, Capital One does a thing and all these things. So I get calls from people, I'm like, oh, yeah, my credit score is 740, yeah, it's great. All right, well, you have about 60 credit scores. Did you know that? You have about 60 different credit scores. Consumer credit, car credit, you know, there's just a number of different ways that scores can be calculated. Car guys, they want to know if you've paid your car loans. They don't care about other stuff. So they get a credit score based on kind of more consumer credit, you know, credit cards and things like that, where I pull a credit report that's completely 100% comprehensive and shows you everything that you've ever done. All right, so if you have any skeletons, we should pull them now, and we can address them before you go out and shop for a home.
Yep.
All right. I think I'm done.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of nice to have just people.
It was. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so it was kind of nice to have an intimate setting.
Very informative.
So, yeah, I'm
I'm
really
glad.
I
glad
have
you
some
guys came.
pictures up on Facebook.
Nice. Oh, yeah, the videos, the silly
Well, I was
videos.
just, popped up, like, the corner.
Uh-huh.
Great, that's good. We've been trying to advertise
Yeah,
and
we've been
we've been
trying.
pushing, but I even was begging
I think next
Friday
one-
and stuff, but you know, it is what it is.
And next one I'll do a little bit more, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more like newspaper, because I do want to do this again. I
We're
enjoy
gonna do
this.
it again.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that more people didn't show up when more people are questioning it on the
Right.
rental.
I run into it all the time, and people, and still, you know, but what it is people wake up on a Saturday morning, I don't feel like going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's really kind of how these things go. It's,
So I think, as of right now, I always wait till later in the year on the house,
yeah.
because people don't want to get out.
Right, when it snows.
So it didn't close, or more negotiable.
Right,
You know, in October, November is a good time to buy a house.
yeah.
I love TLC.
This is
There's
about
this
stolen.
one show where this guy
true.
goes
We should
around
have to
fixing
put it on.
contractors'
Yeah.
mistakes, and I can't think of his name. And he told them that where they went wrong was they bought their house in the summer, and they should have gone around and looked at the rooftops in the winter
To see.
where the snow sticks. And if the snow sticks around, they have enough insulation, and if it melts off fast, it doesn't.
Really, I hadn't considered that, but yeah,
One of the things that
Homes
I've
makes it
done,
right. That's what it's called.
when I've bought homes that I was going to live in, and I don't know if people still do this, but I would go park at the house in the middle of the night, right? Like I'm gonna go park my car in the neighborhood at about 12 o'clock at night, and I'm just gonna sit there and see, is my neighborhood quiet that I'm about to move into? Is there, wild dogs running through the neighborhood? I don't know.
That's actually important. Does the neighbor's kid have a band
Right.
that's playing drums till 11 o'clock at night?
I bought a house in Fair Oaks, and it was actually built, and when they finally, the sticks and the stuff was up, and they put a deck out back, I actually rode my bike over there in the middle of the night, and I was in contract on the house. I hadn't, closed or anything, but there was a big deck in the back, and I actually went over there, my backpack, my sleeping bag, 6-pack of beer, and I sat out there in the evening and just kind of like, let's see if this is a quiet neighborhood or not. It was actually quiet.
magical.
And I could hear the chickens in Fair Oaks in the morning, you know.
This guy falls in love with the house though when he really wants a house, so.
What I want right now
Yeah,
is
you
$1.6
showed it the other
billion,
day.
so I can't afford that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Unless I hit the damn lotto tonight.
There's a house I love that Will's like, I'm gonna play the lotto, and
I
if
love
I win the
lotto.
lotto, we are
This
gonna
is
buy
all
it
working.
cash.
Yeah.
It's only $600,000.
Oh, is that all? That's all.
That's
No, it's a shear or snare or whatever.
But, you know,
Right.
the neighborhood
Because he
that I
always
really
Sold 5 acres to someone.
love,
Right.
it's not as big as
They had
the one, and I
ridiculous
love
demands
the
for the
neighborhood.
cash.
We used
Right.
to live there, it's Romer.
And so we went down
It's
to
nice.
the
Romer, and
Oh,
there's actually a
really?
house up
There's a
And
couple
almost
houses on
bought.
for sale
It
right
was
now.
Tommy's
Right.
house.
Okay, which was
And
a
it's
trailer
for
that was across
sale
from the door,
right
they were
now.
standing, you know, the,
And they
And
keep
it's-
one door,
dropping the
like
price.
12 by,
Which
Right.
one is it? Because
and
there's two, I think.
can't get notarized. The
It's the one
document,
with the
you know,
zip line
the
in the
parcel
back.
on it, because he knew, where, you know.
Right.
I feel like
It's
it's
like-
started, it's right next door to Craig.
Does it have a level driveway or is
It's
it?
level.
It's a level driveway because I think it was just on
That's
tour.
where he
And
gave
it
come
was
back to the money.
just
Right.
the attic onto it. It was smaller than we would. And it sold for like $276, so we told Tommy,
Done.
you know, it's really only a
Come back to
two-bedroom
cash for check.
den. And
You know, to the guy's place up there,
we want to keep our payments around the same, so how about
and
if
she
we
got
do
a
like
graph.
230? And we're talking to a lawyer at the time,
Right.
and
I said, you do
we're
not,
going to do a private sale, and he goes, but I just got
I'll sue the hell out of you, on the owning the thing or nothing.
Yeah, you
So
can't
it's
blame
that.
them.
Right.
I mean, that's $56,000.
That's
That's huge.
So he took that, and we
Okay,
were,
so I got the
they
realtor
were
down
really
now,
nice,
he
we
knew.
lived across
Right.
the street from them, but
This
then
is,
we had people who
that's
were
money.
nice to us that we
Just
just,
for fun. That's it.
oh, so.
Right.
And then you were glad you didn't buy the house.
So we
Yeah, I said, you need
moved
to go talk to
to
one of
Sierra
those. I
Springs.
said, we'll go pick
Those
you up.
people were kicked out of the house, and then the owner came in and sold that house.
That's something
Didn't want
wrong.
to rent it
That's
anymore.
They were that bad.
Oh, they got, they were so bad.
And we will sue.
They got kicked out of that house,
Oh,
and
no,
moved on to Goldbridge.
Right.
And now that
Right.
house is-
Right.
The house on Goldbridge is completely trashed. That's the house, they just got kicked out again. Now they're losing Mark Camino, because I saw them go in on Camino.
Yeah.
And,
This was it.
so we moved
So you
to
find your cave.
Southern Hills, and we see this house for sale.
Doing the, nothing happened again.
Cat on a hot tin roof, yeah, that's right.
Apparently, he sold the property.
Keep an eye on it. Which address is it?
Right.
That's
crazy.
So he was all.
There's some shady.
So you're on Shad then?
Yeah.
Do you know Brooke and Bobby?
36 hours later.
Which way, when you come, when you, do you turn right on Shad? Or do you-
Yeah, she's a realtor, right?
No, she's not a realtor, she's, they have the house with they've got the big lawn and,
The grass.
yeah. They're the second, there's the one on the corner and then it's right there on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Right.
their rental house for them,
Me,
last year.
yeah, they.
I think somebody told me she was.
Well, she's got, they own a couple rental properties, so
Maybe that's why.
that's probably why.
Okay, so, sure, here's this out, so I get all signed off.
You need to get really,
And then-
in with him, so that way we know, we can focus our search. Because once he gets that done, and once
Where was it, LA County?
well, then you and I can just go shopping,
Yeah.
you know, then we could, pile the kids in the car and have fun.
So, they turn around and do it.
Well, if he could, all he has to do is find the time to have a phone conversation with Jeff.
Well, I think he needs to send in
His W-2s.
tax.
Right.
So he needs to be the one who's laptop.
Well, and if you ever need help with any of that, you let me know.
You know,
Like
the
Jeff's
government,
going
they want their
around.
money.
And, you know, or give
You
you-
need stuff printed or emailed or scanned or anything, you let me know.
Very nice. Holy cow.
I'll add it to your portal.
My labor went into it.
Oh, yeah, we were just at that house on tour. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. What's the price on this, dude?
Still $5,000 a year on property taxes, right?
Yeah, $399. And so we want to make sure that we don't, here used to be $1,300 a month.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
So
some
you want to buy a
shopping.
fixer upper?
It was starting off.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
And we looked
So,
Finally, after 2 years.
oh, good.
Rover's a nice street. Because you get some of those properties have that beautiful view, Rover's nice. There's, I also like Terrace and Sherman.
Yeah.
I love that neighborhood. I've got a gentleman in escrow I work down there.
So what do you do, coins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly. So,
My son's friends lived next door,
Mhm.
and then Sherry's right.
school.
So that would be so ideal for you.
But
where would-
the bathroom, no.
Is there a difference?
He parked in here.
Okay,
So he could park here or in the street.
all right.
Parked there before. Because we used to live right.
So it would work for you.
Anyway, so,
Because I know there was one that was coming up on, the one on Carl Court, which is off of Gilmore, that was a big house. For,
there's doing a lot of
300,000.
stuff that I didn't know about.
I want to say it was a 4 or 5
And,
bedroom.
Oh.
so she was using my
So it might be worth looking at.
email.
And I kind of disregarded it because I know he wants something with privacy, but he might have to make a compromise, at least on your first home.
And that's what I keep telling him.
Right.
Just buy a house that's big enough for family.
Get your foot in the door.
And then rent it later.
Right.
Because that's what I want.
Or sell and move up. You could always take your equity and move up. And so, yeah. So we'll schedule a lawyer. Really? Really? Professor of? Really? That's exciting.
So we need something for our family.
So.
Yes,
And then later on, we can get that 5-acre
exactly.
homestead.
Is it my first home? Deer Park, down in Diamond Springs. Are you familiar with it? Do you know where the tower? You know where the Tower Mart was, right there on Pleasant Valley Road and Patterson Drive? That was my first. I lived down about a mile down there. You know, there are all those itty bitty cookie cutter. You know, they wasn't a nice neighborhood, but that's where we started our lives. You know, we started our lives at daycare. And then as we progressed, we were able to sell that home, and then we bought our home here. I love my home out here. I love it out here. It's funny, one thing I knew for sure, I did not want to live in Pollock Pines.
Really?
And then I saw my house. And then I'm like, and now I'm a total mountain woman.
The one thing we know for sure is we don't want to go back.
Right. Well, and I know that for sure also. I don't want to go down the hill. I mean, I do have a little house that I own in Diamond Springs that, you know, if my word ever happened to my husband, that's probably where I would go live. Because I can afford the mortgage, it's a little house, I can handle that on my own. But otherwise, I'm content. I like being in the mountains.
I do too.
I love being in
I'm
there.
from the Bay Area.
Where at?
From Fremont.
Did we know this already? I'm from Fremont.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm from Mission.
I grew up on Blake Hill Road, right across from Kennedy High School.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
So you were in the Mission Hills, in the Rich District.
But I lived in a condo. My aunt Sherry lived right around the corner from Kennedy.
Oh, yeah?
Portola.
Yeah? Yeah.
And then my biological
Small world, right? Who knew that life could be this good, right? I don't even go back there.
It was so small and just nice.
It was, when we moved to Fremont, I was like 10. And there was like cucumber fields and there were fruit orchards and now it's just all concrete gangs. And I'm so glad I left. I have one friend that I sort of stay in touch with that still lives there, but no one else.
One of my best friends,
When was that?
she passed away a few years ago. I stay in touch with Peerman, the kids, but nobody else in your mind really stay in touch with.
4 years for it.
When I,
Less
my
for
grandma took custody of me, I was looking for years.
Oh, wow.
And she
Right.
had her house on
Right.
Shad Drive, which is And then she sold her house. She sold it. Now it's worth $1 million.
And it's probably just an itty bitty old thing.
1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom house.
Right?
And she sold it because her boys were grown and she was done. She was working at IBM. She was on the team that we were the first architect who had met.
Okay.
And she bought a condo for $30,000 off Washington
Right.
Boulevard.
Oh my God.
Right.
She bought the first condo that was finished.
Nice.
And Bill Odom was her realtor.
I don't know.
She bought that condo. He was always her realtor. That's her go-to guy. And then I came along. So it was 2 bedrooms. She said, I have a room. Let's do this.
Nice.
She took me in. I went to Shad, I went to Hopkins, I went to Mission.
Nice.
And then I
That's
lived
just
on
not-
Sheriff's Road,
No.
it was just going too
Yeah.
big. I worked at Kaiser. It was too busy.
Right.
If you wanted an education, you had to be your kids and challenge it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's movement? Man was getting old. I was running back and forth up the hill, there. Let's go to Manteca. So we had a house built in Manteca.
Nice.
Big, 3,200 square foot.
Well, back then it was probably affordable to build.
It was $35,000, and that's for fire.
Well, I caught her.
It's hot in Manteca.
It is hot. And our backyard wasn't that big, but we had a pool. And I was in 2000. In 2007, my daughter broke her head, had a stroke, was put in a rehabilitation center. My ex-husband and I now filed for divorce. And I was laid off from prison.
Who got the house?
I sold the house.
Okay.
And I moved to Tracy into a smaller house. And then he ended up moving in with some children. Well, then things just got really crazy there too.
Right.
Things just, people flocked.
Too many.
Tracy was too.
Well, it was still close enough to commute to the Bay Area if they needed to, but not as crazy as the Bay Area.
Well, my car got stolen.
Oh my God.
One car got stolen, and then the other car, which they got in the bay. The second car was stolen. I reported it stolen. The investigators came up to my door and said, by any chance, did you have your condo work done at Higher Stockton? I said, yeah, I bought it there. That's where I take by service. The service people were cutting down and going to the house on record and stealing the cars.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I had it. I got it here because the president
Oh
of
my
Kosovo
God.
was done.
Oh, I can't, oh my God. Well, I'm glad you came up here. I'm glad you made it up here.
Now, Will's used to Montana, and I don't know.
So he wants like sprawling country and, yeah, right.
So it's like Paulo Pines, it's not Bay, wanting to live in Iowa.
State California.
But I can't live in Iowa because I have kids and so I was like,
Oh, yeah, you can't, because you can't take them out of state. Yeah. You can't take them away from their daddy. You know,
he's fine with that. You just understand how.
They really screw you in the whole thing, don't they?
then you're good.
They really do. I mean, they just prove it.
That was 45 to 48.
Alrighty, Miss Shad. So, go home, tell William how informative this was, and that he needs to get on the phone with Jeff.
Yeah.
He needs to get all that stuff.
All you need
I'm
is to
gonna
give me
see
that list stuff on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if, when he's
Kick
gonna
him in the
have
pants.
time at a hotel to open up his laptop.
And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm here in Paul.
Yep.
So drop on in anytime.
Cause I'm ready to load you
Because I get
in the
bored.
car and go find your house.
I get bored, yeah. I need action. I need something to happen.
Give me a hug, baby.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
All right, thank you for having all the information.
Oh, you are so welcome. Call me if you think of any questions.
I will. All right, bye.
Right. But it's done. It's behind you now, right?
$500 loans to credit union, you know, we really don't have the money.
Right.
$500
Yeah, so you secure your other card, right?
And that's what I wanted to be able to build. Well, one day I got this stupid thing on the internet, and I thought, oh, you know, advertising for this kind of thing, right?
Right.
Okay. So I thought, well, okay. I looked at the engineer transfers, man.
I don't really.
Okay, so I got approved for this thing, you know, and, so I said, okay, don't use it, we'll lose a little bit, you know, so I used a little bit of it, and, because 12 months,
Yeah.
So
So yeah, you
might
might,
pay for 12.
it'll help your score if you have the zero balance.
So,
By then, my score went up to like 7, but they're 65.
Okay.
But they don't go ahead, it's not a TransUnion score, it's a score.
Equifax or Experian or whatever.
So anyway, so when I went back to my credit union to try and get a non-secured credit card, I missed it by 5 points.
Oh my God.
It wasn't what anyone, I think,
Yeah.
TransUnion.
Yeah.
The hardest one that they had up and, gave me a 635, and what he was 650.
So that's where I can help,
Yeah,
right? Because I can run the whole deal and say, what do we got here?
right.
You know, and we can, and if we need to do some work on it, I mean, Mike, I've worked with these kids for over a year to fix their credit. And what's hilarious is they're a couple, they're married, they're really young, right? They're like in their 20s. So they didn't have a lot of credit, of course, but they had some credit. And so the girl was a little better than the guy, right? So I'm like, okay. And he had a couple like medical collections with Marshall and things like that. And I'm like, all right.
Everyone had those.
So, and then she had a couple little blips in there, right? So I said, okay, here's what you're gonna do, and here's what you're gonna do, and I predicted what they're saying in 6 months, right? Because I can go out all the time or whatever. And they came back in, she had done everything I told her to do. And her credit score went from like, I'm not kidding, 605 to 689 or something like that. She was over 680. Well, he hadn't done anything, and his score was still 585. And I looked at him and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I didn't know if we were going to work or not. I'm like, when you see that work on your life over here, you know, and he's just like, you know, I don't want to say I told you so, but I'm going to say I told you so, you know, and it was pretty funny. But one of the things that I wanted to let you know is if you want to buy a fixer up, USDA may not be one, right? Because one of the things that FHA and USDA do is they want you to have a habitable property. So it could be fixable upward, you know, like maybe it's like a retro house, you know, like I've seen a few of those where it's like, the house is in perfectly fine condition, it's just got old stuff.
1970.
Right,
Okay.
so that could totally work.
Yeah.
One of the things I do, and I just did this for my client, is she was getting ready to go into contract, she's a